Taylor Swift sat on her comfortable couch, her heart weighted with emotion, tears streaming down her face. She had just learned that her boyfriend Travis Kelce was making a spectacular, generous gesture in her behalf. Travis, the Kansas City Chiefs star tight end, had always been known for his kindness, but this act moved Taylor in ways she couldn't express. Taylor began the day as usual, engaged in her work, penning songs that poured her heart and soul into melodies and lyrics. But then her phone vibrated with a notice that piqued her interest. It was a link to a story titled "Travis Kelce Donates $1 Million to Children's Hospital in Taylor Swift's name." Her heart filled with pride and love for Travis, yet tears welled up in her eyes. She was struck not only by the size of the donation, but also by the thinking that went into it. Travis was aware of Taylor's strong commitment to children's causes and her desire to use her platform for good. Taylor couldn't help but think about their connection when reading the article about Travis's donation. Travis had always been her rock, helping her through the ups and downs of fame. He understood her in a way that few others could, and his gesture reminded her of the depth of his affection. Unable to control her emotions any longer, Taylor hid her face in her hands and sobbed. These were tears of tremendous thankfulness, brought on by the kindness of someone she cared deeply about. It wasn't simply the money, it was the love and compassion that drove the gesture. Moments later, her phone vibrated again, this time with a text from Travis. "Hi, babe. I just wanted to let you know how much you mean to me. I hope this donation makes you smile. I love you always." Taylor's tears changed from despair to delight as she read Travis's message. She dried her tears and collected herself, feeling renewed thanks and love for the guy who had captured her heart. She knew that no matter what happened in the future, they would always be there for each other, supporting and boosting one another up in times of need. As the golden sun set below the horizon, throwing a warm glow over the bustling city of Los Angeles, Taylor Swift sat in her lovely apartment, her heart heavy with emotion. She had recently heard news that filled her with pride and joy. Taylor's boyfriend, Travis Kelce, a renowned tight end for the Kansas City Chiefs, made a spectacular philanthropic contribution in her honor. He had dedicated a sizable percentage of his money to organizations dear to Taylor's heart, such as music education programs for poor children and animal shelters across the country. As Taylor read the sweet note Travis had written to accompany his generous donations, tears welled up in her eyes. She couldn't believe how sweet and caring he was. It wasn't just the size of his gesture that impacted her, it was also the thorough awareness he demonstrated of her interests and the work he had put into making a difference. Taylor was overcome with emotion and found herself sitting on the couch, hugging the letter to her chest, tears pouring freely. Travis had always been her rock, her source of strength and love, but this act of selflessness moved her in ways she never imagined possible. Taylor couldn't help but feel grateful for Travis in her life, even as she cried. He was more than simply her boyfriend, he was her companion, confidant, and inspiration. Taylor realized she was the luckiest woman in the world at that moment, surrounded by the warmth of her apartment and the echoes of Travis's generosity. As the night fell and the world outside quieted, Taylor sat alone with her thoughts, full to the brim with a profound sense of love and connection. Even though tears streamed down her cheeks, they were tears of great joy, appreciation, and an ineffable sense of being loved beyond measure. Taylor Swift sat at her dressing table, her mirror clouded by tears that refused to stop. It wasn't often that the world-renowned singer-songwriter found herself overcome with emotion, but today was an exception. Today, her heart was brimming with pride, love, and immense thanks. Her tears were not the result of grief or disappointment, but of an unanticipated sweetness that caught her completely off guard. Travis Kelce, her boyfriend and Kansas City Chiefs football player, had recently made a philanthropic donation in her name, which had left her deep. It all started earlier that day when Taylor received a call from Travis, who spoke with eagerness and a hint of nervousness. He added that he had been approached by a local charitable organization in Kansas City about making a donation to assist their work, and he wanted to do something special in her honor. Taylor listened closely as Travis explained his strategy. He had decided to donate a large quantity of money to support music programs for poor youngsters in their town. But he did not stop there. Travis insisted on naming the programs after her, which impacted Taylor's heart in ways she could not have anticipated. As Travis spoke, Taylor felt a lump form, and the compassion and generosity underlying his gesture were nearly too much for her to handle. She'd always known Travis had a large heart, but this was beyond her expectations. Taylor was alone in her dressing room, replaying the conversation in her head, the weight of Travis's words sinking in more with each passing instant. She felt overwhelmed with gratitude as she thought of the countless children who will benefit from the music programs he had helped support. Taylor knew through her emotions that Travis's gift wasn't only about money or recognition. It symbolized his unfailing support and affection for her. In a world obsessed with fame and fortune, Travis had shown her that true prosperity rested in the power to improve the lives of others. Taylor wiped away her tears and made a solemn pledge to treasure every moment she spent with Travis and never take his love for granted. And as she walked out on stage later that evening, her heart felt lighter than it had in a long time, buoyed by the knowledge that she was loved not only for who she was, but also for the goodness she inspired in others. Taylor Swift sat in her lovely living room. Her eyes flickered with a range of emotions as she scrolled through her phone. Her heart swelled with pride when she saw the news about her boyfriend Travis Kelce's newest charity effort. Travis, a well-known football star known not just for his athleticism, but also for his enormous heart, had given a generous donation to a local children's hospital in Taylor's honor. Taylor's eyes welled up as she read about Travis's personal visit to the hospital, where he spent time with the children, sang songs, and radiated joy. The sight of Travis surrounded by happy faces, his real warmth shining, moved her deeply. Taylor had always respected Travis's compassion and generosity, but this act of kindness performed in her name moved her deeply. She couldn't help but feel intense affection and gratitude for him. As she placed down her phone, the weight of Travis's gesture fell on her shoulders, infusing her with a deep sense of pride and affection. She reflected on how fortunate she was to have him in her life, someone who not only encouraged her hopes and ambitions, but also shared her enthusiasm for making a positive difference in the world. Tears streamed down Taylor's face as she wrapped her arms around herself, feeling the warmth of Travis's love embrace her even from a distance. In that moment, despite her tears, Taylor realized she was with someone genuinely wonderful, someone who made her heart sing with love and gratitude.